I'm a harsh judge, especially when it comes to that of myself. This has been both a strength and a weakness, but more so a weakness. It's been a strength in that it's allowed me to be very clear cut as to who I am and where I've gone wrong. It allows me to see the truth of myself. But I take it to the extreme, and thus, even with the little things, it becomes an opportunity for which to undermine and belittle myself. It's easy to get into this perspective for which you berate yourself for what you haven't done. And it's easy to get into this mindset because you've forgotten what you have accomplished. You haven't taken any time. And again, I'm speaking to myself, especially with this lesson, to reflect on how far you've come and taken it even further. Who exactly has been looking at how far you've come? Who exactly has been watching you this entire time, drawing strength from your example? And what brought me to this reflection was one of the mangas that I read on a weekly basis, My Hero Academia, where All Might, the premier example of what it means to be a hero in the story, reflects on what his actions were really worth. He looks at the current state of hero society, and he's at a point within this moment in the story of reflecting as to why he really did what he did. And one of his staunch advocates, those who read the story know who I'm referring to, inspired him, saying that everywhere throughout the society, the example of All Might's actions live on. And while some within the hero society have outright rejected All Might, there are many who follow in his example, many who have been inspired by his example. And although he could not see it in the moment, there are many who drew their strength, who are able to press on because of the actions that he had taken. Even if there's only one person in your life, there's always somebody who's watching. The embers of example reign within our hearts when we think about those like Marcus Garvey, when we think about those like Malcolm X, when we think about those like Martin Luther King, when we think about those like Medgar Evans, when we think about our warrior scholars and master teachers. The embers of their example reign supreme in our hearts, and not just them. There are those within our family who chose to live righteously, who chose to do their best in all that they do. We catch fire when we think about these people who have been an example in our lives. We feel impassioned. We feel like we can go a bit further when we reflect on what they did, and we feel a bit inspired to do a bit better. But the same is also true for the life that you're living. Somebody is watching you, and if we go even deeper, somebody is waiting for you. If you don't become the definitive example, they'll miss the ember that they need to carry on a bit further. Somebody out there is waiting for you to be the example of what's right. And in no other society, no other group on this planet is this purview needed than within Black society. The undying embers of example begin with you, or consequently end with you. At all times, you should be striving to be your best, while also taking into account how far you've progressed when you fail. Because this is the kind of example that allows for others to gain a flexibility in their character, such that they know that when they fail, it's not the end. So that they know that there is a time to be thankful to one's own self for what you've accomplished. So what kind of example are you striving to be? And if there's nobody watching you that you're aware of, how can you be prepared when this person or persons show up in your life? 1.